Hello, friend. My name is James, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic. This is the Sober James Daily Recovery live stream, one day at a time. Feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on to catch me live. And think about joining the channel to help carry the message of recovery. What's up, Noah? We're going to talk about the paradoxes of Alcoholics Anonymous and its 12-step program. Today, I will list off 4 of them to start, and then we're going to try to come up with other ones together. You'll know what I mean? My girl. There's my girl in the background. Why? I am... Hey, Google, how many days ago was November 30th, 2023? I am 451 days sober. I have not felt the obsession to drink in 491 days. Thanks to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and a higher power, which I choose to call God. So let's talk about some paradoxes, shall we? The 4 paradoxes of Alcoholics Anonymous. 1. Surrender to win. Surrendering is necessary to achieve sobriety. We surrender to the fact that we're powerless over alcohol. Our lives have become unmanageable. My way isn't working. I am wrong. Surrender. A second paradox is give it away to keep it. To keep what you receive in AA, you must give it away to others. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away now. Noah, how you doing? Craving passed, but Noah, let's see what Noah says. Thank God the craving passed, but have you ever just wanted to crush a beer down and say, yeah? No, that's an abnormal feeling. No one's ever heard of that feeling, Noah. I think you're alone. No, yes, of course I want to crush a beer down and say, yeah. That's all I want to do. That is the definition of my disease of alcoholism. I forever want to crush a beer down and say, yeah. Oh, trippy. You're going to get me demonetized, bro. You demonetized this stream right ripper out of the gate. Don't you know that AI is smarter than us now? Of course, it probably knew you were going to say that. Every rose has its thorn. Love is a rose. That's a good paradox right there, mind's eye. That's deep, bro. Are you a genius? Love is a rose, but you better not pick it. Only grows when it's on the vine. I got to get my poor dog a allergy shot or something. But I digress. A third paradox of AA, suffer to get well. Suffering is a part of the process of getting well in sobriety and recovery. And a fourth paradox, die to live. This paradox comes from the biblical idea of being born again. Bro, I feel like I'm born again. That's probably why they call it a spiritual awakening. It feels like my life began when I became awake to my own self-centered fears and my own self-absorption. We're going to read the daily reflection while you guys join us, while more people join the stream. This is an everyday live stream, one day at a time on addiction recovery. We're going to settle on a time soon here, probably in March, when I get a better idea of the life that is being built around me in sobriety, schedules, routines, responsibilities, accountabilities, obligations. I have a life to plan around now. February 23rd, mysterious paradoxes, such as the paradox of AA regeneration, strength arising out of complete defeat and weakness, the loss of one's old life as a condition for finding a new one. That's AA Comes of Age, page 46. You can find this on the Everything AA app. What glorious mysteries paradoxes are. They do not compute, yet when recognized and accepted, they reaffirm something in the universe beyond human logic. When I face a fear, I am given courage. When I support a brother or sister, my capacity to love myself is increased. When I accept a pain as part of the growing experience of life, I realize a greater happiness. When I look at my dark side, I am brought into new light. When I accept my vulnerabilities and surrender to a higher power, I am graced with unforeseen strength. I stumbled through the doors of AA in disgrace, expecting nothing from life, and I have been given hope and dignity. Miraculously, the one way to keep the gifts of the program is to pass them on. A paradoxical revelation. A paradoxical revelation. Are you singing a song, Mindsai? Paradoxes, man. Counterintuitive facts of life that the alcoholic like me doesn't know until I get into AA. How do I stop thinking of myself? Do something for others. How do I gain the power of the universe? Surrender and admit that I am powerless. You know what I mean? How do I keep the gift of sobriety? I give it away one day at a time. It's a paradox, bro. These paradoxes may seem contradictory, but they represent the complexity of the journey to sobriety. Beginners learn that embracing this complexity is the first step towards understanding the transformative power of AA. AA members believe that recovering alcoholics stay sober by sharing with fellow alcoholics. They also believe that sharing with others shows that both people grow in the grace of a higher power. Word? In order to stop thinking, you must think. No, that's not a real one. I just tried to be smart there and make it something up that sounds paradoxical. You see my dog in the corner there? Licking, paws. Licking and itching paws. Allergies. It's the bane of my existence. There's a paradox. If you scratched an itch, it gets itchier. Well, that's all I got for tonight's live stream. Have a good night. Keep it clean, blah, 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 blah. I mean, shoot. You know what I mean? What's more to say? It is counterintuitive, and a lot of this stuff is no. I was just kidding, Trippy. Trippy, how you doing, man? You seem to be on one tonight. Is everything all right? Yeah, man. To gain strength, you must surrender. There is strength in surrender. Um, I know there's more. There had to be more. I was counting on more. I'm really sick of listening and watching to my dog lick and itch his paws, probably because of dog food. And they have these skin problems. Every minute of every day, he's licking, chewing. They're licking, chewing at their paws. I got omega 3s coming at him. What's up, Tramiel? Mindsai. Lose the ego, you're going to be free. Yeah, ego, edging God out. Easing God out, ego. Let's read a little bit more of the daily readings. This is on aahappyhour.com. That's aahappyhour.com. You can get a daily reflection every day. Thought for the day. Besides our jobs, our families, our friends, and our society. Bro, my ego has been holding me back my entire life, bro. That has been a main revelation in my journey of recovery from alcoholism. Tramiel said, I'm great, 18 months. Congratulations, bro. That's a good long time. You must be doing something right, one day at a time. But my ego, yes. Deliver us from ego. You know what I mean? Instead of deliver us from evil, deliver us from ego. Yes, ego is a horrible, horrible thing in my life. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I thought ego, for my entire life, I thought ego was more or less, oh, he's got an ego. That means he thinks he's big stuff. He's big shot, pompous, cocky. That's what I thought ego was. And to an extent it is, but ego will also make you feel like you're lower than low. Ego will keep you in fear because ego needs to be maintained and ego needs to be fed. So like if you're not doing what ego wants, ego gets all bratty and makes you feel like crap. It makes you feel like you're going to lose everything. Ego. Yeah, my ego has been leading me down the wrong alleys and paths my entire life. My ego. And when I drop it, when I become right-sized, as they say in the big book, I think it says that in the big book, but definitely in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, it is said to become right-sized. That doesn't mean lower than anybody. It doesn't mean higher than anybody. It just means right there at humanity. Humility, humanity. Only two letters apart. We're all human. That's it. That's it. We're all human. When you recognize you are one with your thoughts, they have no control. Yeah, nah. I recognize a lot of things and they still happen. You know what I mean? Trippy Seeds, it's not that easy. It is simple, but not easy. I recognize a lot of things. I recognized that alcohol was killing me, and it didn't lose control. It takes practice for this alcoholic. It takes practice, commitment, a daily reprieve, is what it takes me. I wish I could just realize something and then that would be me now. Meditation, or the lack of thinking, takes practice. Thinking, for me, it seems to happen too automatically. To stop thinking takes practice for me. Besides our jobs, our families, our friends, and our sobriety, we have something else that many of us have found through AA. That's faith in a power greater than ourselves. To which we can turn for help. Faith in that divine principle in the universe which we call God, and which is on our side as long as we do the right thing. There have been many days in the past when, if we have taken an inventory, we'd have found ourselves very much in the red, without sobriety and therefore without jobs, families, friends, or faith in God. We now have these things because we're sober. Do I make one resolution every day of my life to stay sober? Mind's Eye says, I loosely define ego as whatever is being served up via the voices in my head, which can sound like it knows what's what, but gauging it by its track record, it really don't. Well said. That's very true with me, indeed. It sounds like the most convincing, most brilliant ideas in the world, and some of them are. That's the confusing part, too, is some of these ideas are good ideas, relatively, I guess. Some of them are dangerous and hazardous to my health. That's the tricky part. That's the cunning, baffling, and powerful part. I have practiced breathing techniques. I guess I could practice more. But yes, the way my mindfulness and meditation involves breath work. Deep breath in, hold it. Deep breath out, hold it. Deep breath in, hold it. Deep breath out, hold it. Square breathing or something like that. It's a square. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds. Meditation for the day. Love the busy life. It is a joy-filled life. Take your fill of joy in the spring. Live outdoors whenever possible. Sun and air are nature's great healing forces. That inward joy changes poisoned blood into pure, healthy, life-giving flow. But never forget that the real healing of the spirit comes from within, from the close, loving contact of your spirit with God's spirit, keeping close communion with God's spirit day by day. Damn, AA, you're spiritual. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may learn to live the abundant life. I pray that I may enjoy a close contact with God this day and be glad in it. The weird part about AA is that it wasn't religion. There's so much spirituality in recovery from alcoholism. There's so much spirituality. And Bill W., the writer of those words, well, here's as Bill sees it, was an atheist, an alcoholic atheist. And to recover, he had to get spiritual, it seems. Here it says, as Bill sees it, page 44, to deepen our insight. It is necessary that we extricate from an examination of our personal relations every bit of information about ourselves and our fundamental difficulties that we can. since defective relations with other human beings have nearly always been the immediate cause of our woes, including our alcoholism. No field of investigation should yield more satisfying and valuable rewards than this one. Calm, thoughtful reflection upon personal relations can deepen our insight. We can go far beyond those things which were superficially wrong with us to see those flaws which were basic. Flaws which sometimes were responsible for the whole pattern of our lives. Thoroughness, we have found, will pay, and pay handsomely. Yeah, that is hearsay, Trippy. Bill asked for a shot of vodka on his deathbed. My dude had lung cancer, and I think pneumonia at the time and some other very painful stuff. I actually don't blame him. He's not a saint. He's literally the first alcoholic of Alcoholics Anonymous. He's an alcoholic, bro. Of course, I mean, I have no qualms with him asking for a shot of vodka on his deathbed at all. There wasn't, the medicine wasn't up to par back then. He was suffering. He could barely breathe. Emphysema, COPD, lung cancer. It's like breathing through a drinking straw. But it is just hearsay. There's no proof. But even if that is the case, it's just like I said before, bro. It is said that he did acid too, cheated on his wife. You know what I'm saying? When people would not wash their hands because they shook the hand of Bill Wilson, he would tell them, I'm just a drunk trying to get along. I'm just another drunk trying to get along. You know, and then people come at me with this, Bill Wilson asked for a shot of vodka on his deathbed. So what? My dude was a lifelong alcoholic, dying, trying to breathe through a space that's like a drinking straw. You know what I mean? So he was an alcoholic that created Alcoholics Anonymous that has been saving alcoholics for damn near a century. So have a shot for me, Bill. That's what I would have said. Have a shot, good boy. Good form, good boy. I'd be like, yo, get this man a shot of vodka. He's on his way out. If that's his choice, he's a full-grown man. Dude's on his deathbed. He's walking the plank that we all have to walk someday. He's facing the void that none of us can say that we know. So yeah, if Bill asked for a shot of vodka on his deathbed, get my dude a shot of vodka, quick, is what I would have said. People act like that's a slight on his name, a slander. You don't know Bill, is what I would say. Y'all don't know Bill. Bill would have told these people that slight his name like that, I'm just a drunk trying to get along. And that's also the same reason that the principles and the traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous, some of that's the reasons why some of the traditions exist. Some of the traditions have to do with anonymity, what you hear here stays here. Here. Yeah, have a shot, bro, on your way out of this cruel world. First of all, to be sober is a life's mission, not a deathbed's mission. I can't drink because it ruins my life. My dude was on his deathbed. So, I have no qualms with that. I'd be like, yo, let's get this, let's, let's tie one on for you, Bill. I'm not going to drink with you because I have a life to live. But Bill, you have a death to die. Let's get you a shot of vodka. You know what I mean? My dude, was a man. People elevated him to the status of a godly like figure, and he would just tell you, "I'm just a drunk trying to get along." He had to disappear. He suffered from a lot of depression, bro. I mean, Bill Nye, Bill Nye, the alcoholic guy. I sure hope he got that shot of vodka, to be honest. Come to think of it, now that you bring that up. I've had this discussion before, but I never realized how much I wanted him to have that shot of vodka. It's not, because the purpose of sobriety is to live. And people act like if Bill W. asked for a shot of vodka on his deathbed, that Alcoholics Anonymous must not work. Bro, dude, chick, person, man, one drink only. What did he learn? Moderation. I don't understand the sentences. Ryan, do you reckon he enjoyed it? Enjoyed what? Dying of lung cancer trying to breathe through a space that's the size of a drinking straw? No, I don't reckon he enjoyed it. Actually, I don't. The one thing he enjoyed that brought him happiness, joy, and freedom was working with alcoholics, and that was the birth of the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. When he discovered the most intuitive thing on earth, in order to keep this, you must give it away. One drink only? Question mark. What did he learn? Moderation? No, bro, I'm sure he didn't ask for a shot of vodka. And as a matter of fact, we should look this up. I'm sure he asked for a bottle of vodka. You don't learn moderation as an alcoholic, Ryan. I think this is one thing that you haven't gotten yet. Alcoholics don't learn moderation. In fact, you want to see my meme that I made especially for this argument? Because I'll show it to you, man. I'll show it to you right now. Scoobily boo boo, scoobily bee, scoobily boom bims, scoobily booms. I'll find it right now. Skimbly bimps, skimbly boomps, skimbly boom bims, skimbly bims, yeah. Boom, 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 ba-dim, ba-dim, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Here's coming at you. I made this meme about moderation. Here you go, Ryan. This is for you. Say it again, Ryan. Just use the word moderation again. I double dare you, motherfucker. Just use moderation again. That's what I say to people who tell me, the alcoholic, to just use moderation. Say it again, motherfucker. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. So Ryan, if you're still on that moderation tip, well, it says right in the big book, bro, which I have learned the hard way. Every word of the big book is true. Now, I have bucked it like every other good alcoholic on earth has bucked the big book. God told the angel, if you want to hide sobriety, Put it in the big book. You know, there was a story or something. But it says, the obsession and illusion that we can drink like other men, some carry to the gates of insanity and death. We will carry the illusion that we can drink like other men and women, you know, alcoholics. The disease of alcoholism. We cannot drink alcohol. Period. Just use moderation. Say it again, motherfucker. There is none. There is no moderation. Any alcoholic knows this, not because he learned it, not because she read it in the book, but because she experienced it. He has tried it. In a cold garden. Yeah, in order to, there's another juxtaposition, another dichotomy, another counterintuitive paradox, is that in order to have power over alcohol, in order to dominate it into submission, you must not drink it. There is no beating it by drinking it. You can't drink it all. You can't drink it out of existence. There's just comes more. Tramiel said, man, heard a guy say he was recovered from alcoholism. Right, bro. Recovered. I said that. I've been saying recovering from alcoholism because that's actually true. I never have recovered from it. I said it the other day though, and I couldn't hold it. I had to correct myself. Recovering. You get rid of the alcohol, the ism still stays. It's not alcoholism. It's alcoholism, which is hard to understand for people. You don't drink. You haven't drank in 12 years, but you're still an alcoholic. I know alcoholics that introduce themselves as still an alcoholic. Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm still an alcoholic. And that is another paradox, it seems. I don't drink alcohol, but I'm an alcoholic. Billy Boy Idol asked for a shot of vodka and then asked for another. Oh yeah, I'm curious too. I'm going to call it though. I already know what he asked for. He didn't want a shot. Alcoholics don't want one drink. That is one thing in common with all alcoholics. One is too many because 1,000's not enough. Did Bill Wilson ask for a drink on his deathbed? That's what I just asked Google. Yes, AI says. Bill Wilson, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, asked for whiskey on the final days of his life, but he was never given it. He asked for whiskey 4 times in his final month of life, December 25th, 1970. Oh, he asked for it on Christmas in 1970, January 2nd, 8th, and 14th, 1971. Wilson was dying of emphysema and had been a heavy smoker. Emphysema, bro, it means you're breathing through a drinking straw. Wilson's biographer, Susan Cheever, was shocked and horrified that he asked for whiskey. It's possible that alcohol would have interacted poorly with his medications or that the hospital had a policy against alcohol. Wilson was able to stay sober for 36 years after being admitted into Towns Hospital in New York for alcoholism treatment in 1934. He spent his final years avoiding AA meetings so he wouldn't be asked to speak as the co-founder. He didn't like it. He didn't like the fame and the AA. It's essential that we maintain a right size, humility. We don't get too big for our britches. No, Bill did not have a good death. Bill died the death of an addict, emphysema from smoking his entire life. and he asked for alcohol. He asked for whiskey 4 times in his final month of life. Christmas of 1970, January 2nd, 8th, and 14th. That's AI. So, to my understanding, AI analyzes everything on the internet, comes up with the most prevalent facts. I believe it. And we are not saints. 36 years he was sober. 36 years of his sober. My dude was dying of emphysema. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, first of all, none of us sitting here have been on our deathbed. I was close one time, but I still, for some reason, didn't believe I was going to die. Bill Wilson knew he was going to die. I mean, probably had a great idea that he was going to die. In the 1970 Christmas Day, he's like, give me some whiskey. That was another good thing that it said in that article. He had stopped going to AA meetings in the last, what did it say, the year of his life, months of his life, because he didn't want to be asked to speak as the co-founder. Now, maybe because him and Dr. Bob founded Alcoholics Anonymous, and Ebby, I think there's 2 of them. Here's a whole Reddit feed about my thoughts on Bill W. asking for alcohol on his deathbed. As a former hospice volunteer, I've had this discussion in the Reddit comments a couple times, and I've received some positive feedback regarding my perspective, so I decided to post it here. A lot of us in recovery have heard and been disappointed by this story, but for those of you who haven't, Bill Wilson, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, asked for a glass of whiskey on his deathbed and became belligerent when it was not provided him. For many, this story is a source of great disappointment, a black mark on the legacy of AA and the 12-step system as a whole. I've had people tell me that Bill's deathbed behavior generally bothers them, and I completely understand. Bill made it his life's mission to celebrate sobriety, and then he goes and demands whiskey. That sucks, right? What a shame. It's reminiscent of Helen Sluckman cursing ACIM during her final years. However, as someone who has seen dozens, if not hundreds of people die, Bill's behavior is not particularly alarming or concerning to me. His unpleasant behavior in his final hours is in no way a reflection of the man himself, nor of the program he founded. I'd wager that anyone in the palliative care field would share similar sentiments. After seeing so many patients regress to childlike and infantile states as their bodies slowly and painfully fail, and the only thing to look forward to is oblivion. Whoa. I do not want Bill's death to be a source of concern or disappointment for alcoholics in recovery, so I'd like to share a little bit about the dying process. The reality is that dying sucks. Even with the heavy-duty meds, it's painful, confusing, and scary. Dying individuals are extremely uncomfortable. They contort and squirm. They are distracted. Mentally, there are often profound negative changes in personality. The best I can describe it is that people who are dying almost become toddlers again. They say bizarre, angry, incredible, hurtful things, and we often counseled family members about this possibility before they stood by their loved one's deathbed. Watching a beloved grandfather say he has always wanted to molest his granddaughter is not something that is easily understood or processed. Are such outbursts a genuine look at a dying person's deepest, darkest thoughts? I don't really think so. I think they're the result of delirium and the raw animal suffering that precedes death. Thus, these outbursts should not really be taken to heart. Bill asking for whiskey is honestly one of the milder examples of deathbed outbursts in my experience. And then again, given the profound discomfort, suffering, and fear that can accompany the dying process, These outbursts should not be taken seriously. They are not an accurate reflection on Bill or his legacy. Sober, healthy Bill would undoubtedly be horrified by his dying counterpart's demands. This is interesting, so I'm going to read on. Some people who die gracefully, patients with well-developed coping mechanisms, usually hold it together all right, especially if they are deeply religious or spiritual. That's my anecdotal take anyway. And some people are so heavily sedated that they just sleep through the dying process. So there are some exceptions to the pattern of experience I'm discussing, but for many, if not most people, dying is an ugly, confusing, angry shit show. And this is a hospice worker dealing with death. Before I conclude this post, there's a couple other things I'd like to touch on. First, I very often see this particular response to Bill's deathbed story. Damn, why didn't they just give him a drink? He's dying anyway, so who cares? I usually hear this response from non-alcoholics, but disappointingly, I've heard it from alcoholics too. Like Sober James. I didn't say who cares. I said it's Bill Wilson and he's dying. He asked for a drink, get it to him. Two things. You are dying right now. Yes, your clock is not actively running out like Bill's, but you could be dead tomorrow or even today. Nobody knows what the future holds, so he was dying anyway is not a valid excuse because everybody is dying anyway. Oh, get out of here. I like my point better. Just at different speeds, says this person. Secondly, if you feel that Bill should have been just given a drink, I feel sorry for you. Because by you saying that Bill should have been offered a drink of poison that destroyed his life, you are demonstrating that a small part of you still believes that alcohol has some kind of positive quality. That there's nothing wrong with drinking. It's just your alcoholism that makes it bad. False. That's not what I believe. I can tell this is a non-alcoholic person talking. That's not what I believe. I said my dude is dying. Give him a drink. To live, we don't drink. And alcohol does have positive qualities. It kills pain, it relieves stress, and it relieves angst and the immortality of death it was going to relieve for Bill. It has good qualities. We don't drink because I didn't stop drinking because alcohol has no good qualities. I stopped drinking because I go to those good qualities before I go to life. I stopped drinking because I can't drink enough alcohol. So this person is not an alcoholic, and their opinion is born of ignorance. No. That's not my perspective, but I'll read on anyway. This is a subtle but very dangerous perspective. So many people believe that alcohol or drugs is a good thing with bad consequences. I had so many good times when drinking. If only I had a magic body that didn't build tolerance or experience withdrawals. This person isn't an alcoholic, I could tell. The mindset that alcohol is enjoyable, but that your addictive personality rendered it unmanageable, so you work the 12 steps to stay clean, but wish you could unwind with a beer after work like everyone else, that is dangerous, a ticking relapse time bomb. It is more beneficial for recovering alcoholics to view alcohol as a bad thing with bad consequences, simply poison. True. Would you unwind with a nice cold glass of cyanide after a long day at work? No, because that would be instant death with no enjoyment. So this person does have a point, and on other points is off the mark. All this leads me to my final point, he writes, and one I think is wise for my friends here in AA to consider. There is a high chance that you and I, in the discomfort and delirium of the dying process, will ask for alcohol. Ensure in your living will or advance directive that you must not, under any circumstances, be given alcohol, no matter how much you beg or whine or plead. Dying me may have a different perspective, but sober me does not want to tarnish my sobriety or insult the sober life I've worked so hard to build with a deathbed bottle of booze. I applaud Bill's family for resisting his requests, and I feel sorry for anyone who thinks they made the wrong decision, particularly if that person is an alcoholic themselves. Man, fuck you! Fuck this dude. He's got an opinion, and he thinks his opinion is the opinion. I hope this post has helped those of you who are disappointed in Bill's deathbed demands. I know the story really bothers some people. Yeah. All right. Well, that person on Twitter or whatever, he was dying for a drink. Ryan, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. That's the only funniest thing I've ever heard you say, I think. That's the only thing I could understand. Ryan, are you sober today? Let me read some of your comments. How old was Bill when he passed? Let's ask that. Bill was dying for a drink. Yo, give the dude a drink. I'm not writing in my will, don't give me a drink. If I am on my deathbed, do you really think I'm going for, you really think I'm not drinking to be honored? I'm not drinking not to be honored and not to be a respectable person. So if I ask for booze on my deathbed, it's because I'm on my deathbed. You better give me a goddamn drink. Anybody on their deathbed has the authority. I don't care. If you are on your deathbed, you have naturally earned the authority in the room. You have the authority in the room if you are on your deathbed. You have authority in the room. Not the doctor, not the priest. Sure as hell not that Twitter fucker, Reddit poster, whom I first agree with until he objected, in my opinion. What was I going to ask? How old was Bill Wilson when he died?
According to Wikipedia, William Griffith Wilson, also known as Bill Wilson or Bill W., was the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous
Christian
with Bob
Slater
Smith.
in a picture of Bill Wilson's. Oh, that must be a built the movie. I guess Christian Slater was in a movie about Bill W. Yeah. You know what I mean? People are going to come at me. Don't come at me tossing around AA. You know what I mean? I'll fuck a dude up. Yes, Bill W. was dying for a drink at 75 with emphysema on his deathbed. Still my hero. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. I know he was not faithful to his wife. She knows he wasn't faithful to her. I know he asked for a drink on his deathbed. I know he did LSD for 5 years. And when I say I know these things, I mean I have read, I basically assume that the gathered evidence is, the gathered literature and like history is true about him. I have no reason to not believe that. He was an alcoholic. And he was human. You know what I mean? I don't justify cheating on his wife. I don't justify asking. I mean, I pretty much do justify asking for some whiskey on your deathbed. Be like, bro, I founded Alcoholics Anonymous. I deserve a drink. Not drinking is to live. If Bill Wilson on his deathbed wants a drink, why is he not going to drink? Why would he not drink? I commend him. Why would you not drink on your deathbed? The reason we're not drinking is because it'll kill us. You know what I mean? The other thing to be said about Bill Wilson asking for whiskey on his deathbed, because I know alcoholics that they go out sober. I know I thought about it before. What would I ask for? I might ask for a drink, motherfuckers. You think I'm doing this to be all shiny and you think I'm not drinking to be a big shot? That is false. I really would love to be able to drink like other men, drink with impunity, non-alcoholic drinker. I would love to be able to have a tumbler of whiskey in my hand for more than 15 minutes, to nurse that tumbler of whiskey all night like a normal person and be able to socialize and go to weddings on a cruise ship and not avoid them and not run from parties that'll have alcohol and shit. I would love to be able to do that. I cannot without dying. So if you catch me on my deathbed and I'm asking for some whiskey, actually I'd probably ask for tequila, then I see no problem with that. I see no problem. I see no problem with drinking on a deathbed. This is a good topic. Is there anything wrong with an alcoholic drinking on his deathbed? No. No, there is not. Sure, he might get drunk and say some shit to all of his loved ones there at the hospital room, but they better be drinking with me too if I'm having a drink. This is the only time you guys get to drink with me is on my goddamn deathbed. And I know God and I are straight, so like God has no problem with me drinking alcohol, especially if I went 35, 39 years like Bill W. did. You go 39 years and you're about to die, somebody get this man a drink. I would have broke some laws to get that dude a drink. I wouldn't drink it unless Jesus was the bartender. I mean, my dude does turn water into wine, so he'd be a pretty good bartender. I wouldn't drink unless Jesus was the bartender. When would I drink? Shit, I mean, any day that ends with Y, any day of the week that ends with Y, I will drink. I don't need a reason. The reason why I don't drink is the bigger discussion. Reason why I would drink? Just name anything. Just be like, there's a light on. I'll drink. Just be like, it's raining. I'll drink. Just be like, it's sunny out. I'll drink. Mind's eye, that's a magic trick, if you will. It's pretty good. Jesus, turn this water into wine so I could turn the wine into pee-pees. Jesus be like, thy will be done. Yeah, bro, that should be this should have been a whole live stream. Is there something wrong with... Now, I may be in just a weird mood, and this is why I'm saying this, but I've never talked about this before, actually. I've never talked about whether Bill Wilson should have got that drink or not. This is an excellent topic. I'm going to make it tomorrow's live stream. Should Bill Wilson have gotten that drink of whiskey he asked for 4 times? Christmas Day, bro. He asked for a glass of whiskey on Christmas Day and somebody denied him. Bro, maybe I wasn't there, so I can't say anything, but here's my official stance right now. As of right now, I'm 44, the year is 2025, and this is my opinion. Anybody on their deathbed has the immediate authority in that jurisdiction that is the room. If you enter a room and there's a dying person, that dying person has authority. Of course, they say, I've heard it more than once said that dying people say some crazy shit. And my mother, who died of emphysema and lung cancer, said some crazy shit. They said it was mostly the steroids and the treatment. Tramiel said, damn, my co-sponsor, 80 years young with 48 years. I don't think he'll ask for a drink on his deathbed. Yeah, it doesn't mean every alcoholic will. That's another good question, is how many alcoholics how many of us get a deathbed? Some of us get a death gutter. If we're lucky, we'll get a deathbed. Most of us will probably get a death gutter, or like a death door, a death car, a death, you know what I mean? I'm lucky if I get a deathbed and I can even ask for a drink. Actually, no, I'm not. The deathbed isn't lucky. I would rather have a death bus, or a death train, or a death plane, or a death shotgun. A deathbed is kind of torture, isn't it? Laying there, here's my deathbed. Give me a death gun. I don't want a deathbed. Give me a death shot to the head. And I'd like to fall from the Golden Gate Bridge after that shot in the head into the great white shark-infested waters of the San Francisco Bay. That's how I want to go. But I'm not going to get my wish. I can just feel it. I can just feel it that I'm not going to be eaten by the great white sharks of the San Francisco Bay. Yeah, paradoxically, Bill Wilson, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous and the writer of the big book, 12 Steps, wanted a drink on his deathbed. Is that wrong? Here is the other thing to take from that. He had stopped going to AA meetings, probably because he was on his deathbed. I mean, if anything's a literal sick note, it's I'm on my deathbed. I can't make it to the meeting. But he also didn't want people to keep asking him to speak as the co-sponsor of AA. He didn't like that title. He's just another drunk trying to get along was his answer to everybody. And which I love that answer. And that's what he was. That's all he was. People would not wash their hands after shaking Bill Wilson's hand. He'd be like, bro, I'm just a drunk, just like you. He had to fight his ego. Speaking of ego, he had to fight his ego, I'm sure. Being the writer of the big book and an alcoholic, we are ego-driven maniacs. Trippy lives in Ireland. You can't get away from booze. Can't over here either. Well, I imagine in Europe, it is a little... We're baby Europe. All America is baby Europe. Deathbed drawn out. I know, right? Just because any AA relapse is even your sponsor, it doesn't mean the steps don't work. It means anyone can get lost. Yeah, it means alcoholism is cunning, baffling, and powerful. People who say that alcoholic relapsed, they were going to AA must not work, obviously has a problem with logic. But the steps work if you work them. The steps work when you work them. Ryan said he was bedridden or just on his deathbed. Was he bedridden? A true alcoholic would have walked past family. Right. Well, emphysema, from what I understand, and I watched something on this, and this is where I totally understood his no fault for asking for booze, was emphysema is super scary and super painful. You can't breathe, bro. It's like breathing through a straw. Oh my God. Have mercy. And back then in the 70s, it wasn't that long ago, but still the medicine wasn't like it is now. Bro, when I had a hematoma in my abs, they were giving me anti-blood clot shots daily, and they would shoot it into my ab area. abdominal. And one time they clipped a capillary, started bleeding into my muscle cavities. It's called a hematoma. It was the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life to this day, without a doubt. I said, "Doc, cut me open. I don't care what it is. Get it out of me." He said, "No, I give you something. I give you something." I said, "Bro, I'm already on fentanyl, morphine, and the lot of it." He said, "No, I give you something." I said, "Bro, you better cut it out of me." But he was already walking out. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, an eternity later, a nurse comes in with a syringe kit. And I said, "What's this? You already got me on all kinds of painkillers, and I still feel agony, the worst pain I've ever felt in my life." Scale of 1 to 10, 11. I said, "What's this?" She said, "It's called Dilaudid." And I was like, "Well, it ain't going to do shit. You might as well get the surgery team ready to cut this out of me, because that ain't going to do shit." She hit me with the needle. I felt a coldness go through my veins. Then I felt relief of the greatest pain in my life. To this day, I still remember it. It was agonizing pain. Well, that disappeared, and I became euphoric and really, really high. And I said, What'd you say that was?" And I got that every 4 hours. And even if I'd be asleep, I got so addicted to it that my body would wake up on that 3 hours and 59 minutes. My body would wake up and be like, "My Dilaudid." So maybe if Bill Wilson had some Dilaudid in him, he wouldn't have asked for a drink of whiskey. Maybe my dude said to himself, I lived a life, 35 years, helped the world discover a program of recovery and sobriety from alcoholism, saved families and countless people. Maybe I should have a drink since I'm on my way out. Why not? A dying alcoholic, that might be a good topic for tomorrow's stream. Does a dying alcoholic deserve a drink? That's the one. That's the name of the stream tomorrow. I'm going to write it up right after this. That's my hour for tonight. The paradoxes of AA, one of which now we have a pending, burning question. Does a dying alcoholic deserve a drink? Ryan makes a good point. Was he really dying? How did he know he was dying? Well, he had emphysema. He could probably barely breathe. It was explained to me that he was in great pain, a phenomenal amount of pain and suffering. So I side with Bill on this one. Sorry, guys. I side with Bill. The reason an alcoholic doesn't live is so they don't ruin their life. If I'm on my deathbed, let's have a drink. That's what I think we're going to talk about tomorrow. Turn down the drink? Yeah. I was, yeah. That's another reason. That's what I said too. Like, if I was watching, sometimes I watch these disaster movies where the world is ending. You know, like that one with John Cusack in it or whatever. Would you... And I say to myself, if that was going down, would I have a drink, you know? If the world was ending, an apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, you know, great natural disaster, you pick it, would I drink? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. But one of my answers was the same as mine size, was like, no, I'm going to finish strong and not drink. But now, I mean, the only argument to be had would be your legacy. You know, the legacy of Alcoholics Anonymous. But at the same time, you're facing a void that none of us have faced yet. There is no one that can make that decision except the person that's facing the void, I think. Ryan says, I don't think you pass test if you get drunk on deathbed. Well, I don't think I'm taking a test. I'm not taking a test, bro. I'm not trying to pass a test. I'm trying to live. I'm pretty sure if I decided to kill myself, it would involve alcohol. Yeah, I'm very sure. I'm very sure that that's how it would go. Now that I am not an alcoholic in active addiction, I don't want to kill myself. It's crazy. It's an interesting skimbly bimbers. Just for spite. Here's the deal, I think people that worry about their legacy won't take the drink. People that want to die with honor won't take the drink. I think if you're true to yourself, you might want to take that drink on your deathbed. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. Until then, thanks for joining me for another Sober James Addiction Recovery podcast, one day at a time, every day. And we'll see you tomorrow and discuss, should a dying alcoholic be given his drink order? Until then, keep it clean, keep it real, and keep doing the damn thing. Unless you're dying, then, you know what I mean, you did the damn thing. You know what I mean? Have at it. All right, peace.